What is up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and if you are somebody who is self-employed, if you consider yourself to be an independent contractor or a gig worker, then this video is for you because I'm going to be talking about all of the government programs that you need to be taking advantage of, and some of them you may not have even realized that you qualified for. So I will be talking about the PPP program, the EIDL program, and the unemployment program, and why you may qualify for these programs even if you are self-employed, an independent contractor, or a gig worker. So let's get started. Now, we all know that there has been a whole lot of confusion with these government programs that are being issued and offered in response to COVID-19. And the three big ones have been unemployment, have been the EIDL program, and the PPP program. And the qualifications on who qualifies for these programs has really been, quite honestly, really fuzzy. It's been really kind of up in the air, and I feel like there hasn't been a whole lot of clarification on what exactly the qualification standards on all these programs are. With that being said, there has been some new information that has come out over the last week that indicates that people that are self-employed, independent contractors, or gig workers do qualify for all three of these programs and could potentially end up getting quite a lot of aid money from these programs if you fill out the application in time. So let's start with the PPP, and PPP stands for Paycheck Protection Program, and this was a program that was implemented to help businesses keep paying payroll. So it was a way for businesses to keep people out of the unemployment program. The kind of understanding with the PPP at first was that you had to have salaried or waged employees, meaning you had to have employees that were W-2 employees. So businesses that were owned by many sole proprietors, self-employed individuals, independent contractors, or gig workers would not qualify for this because they didn't have W-2 level employees. In addition to that, there was also a lot of confusion with the PPP regarding how it's going to be forgivable, what the terms of the forgiveness are, and I know that there was a lot of confusion and a lot of concerns with entrepreneurs and business owners that they would not follow the terms correctly 100% to a T, and as a result they would be stuck paying back this loan that they potentially couldn't afford to pay back. And so that was kind of one of the biggest concerns that I personally heard from individuals that I spoke to. Well, Marco Rubio came out this week and made a statement about the PPP, and Marco Rubio is one of the chairmen of the PPP program. He's kind of heading this entire operation. And he had said that the PPP program was not designed to be paid back, meaning that it is designed to be forgivable. It is designed for this money to be distributed out in a grant format. And yes, there is a chance that you might have to pay it back, and I certainly wouldn't count on having these loans be 100% forgiven, but it was spoken directly from Marco Rubio that the program was not implemented as being a loan program. It was in fact implemented as being a forgivable grant program, which means that the chances of getting your PPP loan forgiven are probably higher than they were a few weeks ago whenever the entire details of this program were a little bit more fuzzy. In addition to that, Donald Trump came out this past week and made a statement indicating that if you are somebody who's a gig worker, if you're self-employed, if you're an independent contractor, and if you have paid 1099 workers, then you also qualify for this loan. Meaning that if you have a business, even if it's not an official LLC, even if it's not an official business with an EIN, but if you have paid 1099 workers, you could qualify for the PPP. And for those of you who don't know what 1099 workers are, this could be maybe a freelancer you hired to do your online marketing. It could be an accountant that you hired. It could be a lawyer you hired. It could be somebody you hired on the side to help clean an apartment unit or clean your Turo car. There is just so many examples of what a 1099 worker could be. And if you are a small business owner, if you're a self-employed individual, an independent contractor, and if you have taken advantage of these types of services and paid for these types of services, you could qualify for the PPP. Now, the difference with the PPP compared to the EIDL is that the EIDL you apply directly on the SBA website, whereas with the PPP you have to apply through an SBA approved lender. And that can sometimes be really difficult because right now there's a lot of businesses trying to apply for the PPP, so going to banks like Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America may not be the best option. So the website that I've looked into using for applying for the PPP is a website called Kabbage. That's Kabbage. I will include a link in the description below. I am not affiliated with Kabbage in any way. I just felt like this website was a really easy way to go about applying for the PPP. Now, whenever you are going through the application through a website like Kabbage, you will have to provide some documentation. So you will have to provide bank statements showing that you were paying for business expenses this past year. You will have to provide an ID. You will have to provide some business information. But I found the application process, and the people I've spoken to have found the application process to be very easy and very simple and straightforward, especially using the website Kabbage. But I also want to state that I am not guaranteeing that you can get the PPP loan, and I'm not guaranteeing that the terms of the PPP loan are what I am stating in this video. But what I am saying is that there has been some indicators over the last week that say that there's a chance that independent contractors, gig workers, and self-employed individuals could apply for the PPP and qualify for it even if you don't have salaried or W-2 employees on your payroll. And so if I was you, and if you have a business like what I'm describing, and if you've paid 1099 workers over the last few months or over the last year, then I would definitely recommend checking out the PPP program and applying, because the money is going to run out. And it's one of those things that it's better to be safe than sorry. And if you end up applying and you get denied, then no harm, no foul. But if you end up applying and you get approved, then it could really help keep your business afloat for the time being, especially if it ends up being forgivable. Next is the EIDL. So the EIDL I will just kind of touch on because I've really been talking about this a lot lately. So the EIDL stands for Economic Injury Disaster Loan, and it was a loan program implemented to help businesses stay afloat. People who are independent contractors and gig workers and self-employed individuals do qualify for this. And my last video that I posted on Wednesday, I had a whole lot of people in the comments saying, I have small business that sells X, Y, and Z. Do I qualify? I do an independent driver. Do I qualify? I have a farm. Do I qualify? And the answer to all of those is yes, you do. If you have a business where you're selling something, it doesn't matter if you have an LLC. It doesn't matter if you have an EIN. If you are selling something, if you are providing a service, then you qualify for the EIDL. Now, the EIDL is currently closed. It is only open to agriculture-based businesses. I have heard that people have applied for the EIDL under the agriculture-based businesses. They haven't been approved, but their applications have gone through. I don't know if that's going to prove to be successful or not, but I do tend to think that the EIDL applications are going to open up for general businesses again. And so make sure to keep an eye on that. I would probably recommend, if you're somebody wanting to take advantage of the EIDL program, to check on a daily basis and wait for it to reopen for general businesses. And once it reopens, then apply. Because if you have a business that you're selling anything, even if it's not a legit business and it's just a side hustle, then you qualify for the EIDL. And if you have an agricultural-based business, then you qualify right now and you can apply under the agricultural EIDL application that is currently open. Make sure that when in doubt, apply. If you don't have a legit business that has an LLC and an EIN, it doesn't matter. If you have a side hustle, if you're a gig worker, if you're an independent contractor, then you qualify for the EIDL. So take advantage of it before it runs out and before these stimulus packages stopped being passed by the government. So now let's talk about unemployment. So this was one of the biggest kind of pleasant surprises over the last week, and that is the information that independent contractors, gig workers, and self-employed individuals can qualify for unemployment. So typically in a normal economic environment, people who are self-employed, gig workers, or independent contractors do not qualify for unemployment, meaning that if you get your hours reduced or you can't find work, you don't qualify for any benefits. But due to COVID-19, these individuals do in fact qualify for unemployment under the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program. These rules and how you apply and what the regulations are vary greatly from state to state. And so what I encourage you to do, if you are somebody who could qualify for unemployment, if you're somebody who is a gig worker or an independent contractor and your work has been affected by COVID-19, then what you need to do is you need to go onto Google and you need to search unemployment for gig workers in Texas, unemployment for gig workers in California, unemployment for gig workers in New York. Search those terms, and that should take you to the Workforce Commission for your state's website. And then once you're there, it will give you information on how to apply if you're one of these types of people and what the rules and regulations are. I know for the state of Texas, it said that whenever you apply, you will be denied traditional unemployment assistance. But once you are denied for that traditional unemployment assistance program, it will automatically be rerouted, and then you will be set up for approval with the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, which is a different program set in place specifically for times like now. I also know that in the state of Texas, on the Texas Workforce Commission website, which I will link below just so that you guys can reference it, It says that if you are an independent contractor and you're wanting to qualify for unemployment, to simply put reduced hours as the reason why you're claiming unemployment and to state COVID-19 as the source. And then it also said to put your own information as your employer. That way, the Texas Workforce Commission knows that you are an independent contractor and you are a gig worker who is seeking unemployment assistance. These are the 3 programs that are currently being offered. I think that it is incredibly important to take advantage of these programs while they're being offered because you don't really know when the well is going to run dry. And I think that at some point, possibly sooner than later, the government will stop offering these benefits and the economy may not turn back to normal when these benefits stop. And so take advantage of them while you can. Now, I'm not guaranteeing that you'll qualify for any of these programs, but I am saying that it is worth a try. You have nothing to lose, so apply for these programs if you can. So if you're a gig worker and your hours have been reduced due to COVID-19, then apply for unemployment. If you're self-employed and you had a bunch of 1099 workers doing odd jobs for you, then apply for the PPP. If you're an independent contractor, then apply for the EIDL once it reopens. These programs are here for people like you to take advantage of during times like this. And so it's important to use these resources to our advantage and to use them to help keep us afloat during this crazy time that we're all experiencing. So guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found it informative. I'm trying to keep my videos as up to date with the information that I have, but at the end of the day, I am not a financial expert. I am just giving you the advice that I myself am taking and the advice that I am giving to my close friends and family. So make sure to consult a financial expert if you have any doubts to what I am saying and if you have any concerns. But I hope that this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.